Hello, welcome back. I hope everyone had a restful spring break and are ready to finish up the last few weeks for you guys. Um, really am proud of all the hard work that you guys did that week before spring break. Your test scores were really good. Hopefully, you can understand the little notes that I made and sent to you. If you have questions, remember that every day we Zoom from 10:30 to 11 is the time set aside for you guys. And I know some of you have participated, and it's really, as Cassie said, it's the best time where we can actually talk and see one another, and you can see the other folks in class and get to visit face to face, so to speak. Um, so, uh, some of you have probably gotten an email. There are some changes to the AP program that we're going to talk about. Here's kind of my schedule for the week. Today, I want to kind of talk to you about the changes, the test, and what I know so far. And then I'll explain more about that in a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and start reviewing. I'm very, very thankful that we got to cover all the material in person before we had to go to virtual uh, classes. And so we are at a big advantage compared to some AP Cal students. And so tomorrow we are going to work on some open response. And let me back up. At this point, every year, the first thing we do is we take an old AP test and we see how we do and how we compare, and then we use it to figure out what we need to work on. And so for tomorrow, I'm going to give you a set of open response questions from an old actual AP test. On Wednesday, we'll have the multiple choice, maybe the calculator part. Thursday, we'll do the multiple choice, no calculator part. I'm going to want you to get me all those results. And on Friday, I will look at those and get them back to you, and we'll talk about how you can figure out what your score would have been on that actual AP test. And then I'm going to need you to give me feedback on what areas you need the most work on. And I've been preparing and looking at that test that I'm going to give you. And I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've even thought about some of those things. And so I expect you to have problems that you don't remember. And this is just kind of our starting point to see what you do remember and what we need to work on as we move forward in preparation. On Friday, I would really like for us to shoot for perfect attendance on Zoom. And if you can't make the 10:30 to 11 slot, let me know what time slot might work better. I know some of you are working afternoons. I know some of you like to sleep in, but maybe we could meet at a different time. But I'd like to get as many of us into our Zoom session as possible on Friday. All right, so let's talk about the changes that I do know about. Let me start with that you do get to take the test. So there will be an AP Cal test. And if you qualify on it, you will get the credit just like you normally would. Big difference is that test is only going to be 45 minutes long. So that's interesting. The other interesting part is that it is only going to be open response. And when I first heard that, I was a little concerned, and then I was like, wait a minute. In the past 3 years that I've had students take the AP Cal test, the open response portion has always been our best portion. For some reason, we always tend to do better on open response than multiple choice. So that makes me happy as well. It is going to be online somehow, but they have, what I have looked at, said that you will be able to work it on paper and then submit a picture of that, which you guys did for me that last week, and we will continue to do, so you'll get used to that. So you don't have to worry about trying to type it into the computer. And we're going to get a lot more information as we get closer to the test. Another thing that I know, and I'm actually kind of disappointed in this, they are leaving off Unit 8. So Unit 8 is going to be left off. And guys, that's what we just took our test on. That's the area and the volume and the slope fields. And I always like those because that's the most recent in your brains, and you guys usually do really well on that. But most people are not in the situation that we are in, and they haven't covered all the material yet. And so they were thinking, we're, 3/4 of the way through the school year. And so they're basically taking the last quarter of the material that's to be covered in AP Cal and taking it off the test. And so I'm disappointed in that, but that's all right. You guys have already learned it, and so you will be prepared. If you go into Cal 2 next year, or if you need to repeat Cal 1, you'll at least already know it. And so I'm very happy about that. The other thing that I know is that on Friday, April 3rd, they are going to release the test dates. It's my understanding there's going to be 2 options, and that we will also find out more information about what the test is going to look like. They've talked about how on the website they're going to start releasing things. And so we will find out a lot more information on Friday. So that is what I do know. You will get to take the test. It's going to be shorter. It's only going to be open response. I'm kind of thinking that you'll get to use your calculator, because what would keep you from it other than just honesty? And I don't think everybody in the world is as honest as you guys. I know you would never use your calculator when you weren't supposed to, but I suspect that this will have be a calculator allowed portion. So what I'm going to give you for homework for today is that there are some links to AP that'll give you more information about what the changes are. And I want you to go into those links and look around. And then your assignment's going to be to tell me that you got it and you understand, or to submit your questions that you have based on the information that we currently have received. So not much for today, but I want you to prepare, get ready. Tomorrow, your assignment's going to be the 6 open response from an actual test. The next day, we'll do half the multiple choice, and the third day, we'll do the rest of the multiple choice. And then on Friday, I'll give you feedback on all of that. So be sure, get ready, rest up. On Tuesday, you'll need to complete all 6 of those open responses and get them to me so I can get them graded and back to you by Friday. So homework will be looking at the website, and I'll make that assignment in Schoology. And so enjoy. Looking forward to seeing you guys again. And